This is what's left of the Guillows collection, which is pretty much everything that I started with. There's been some requests to show my collection, and I had the building table cleared off, and I think it's about the best time of day to do this, so there's some light and we can actually see them. So first off, I know it's pronounced Guillows. That is pronounced Guillows. I call it Guillows because that's what we called it at the hobby shop when I was a little kid, about 75 years ago. Well, 40 years ago. Anyhow, so when I refer to it as Guillows or Guillows, it's really pronounced Guillows. So we got that out of the way. I get no royalties from Guillows for building these models. This is a personal thing. I've been after this since I was a little kid, and my Auntie May brought me home an 01E bird dog from Ben Franklin when I was like 7, and I never did complete it, but I did like building it. The first model I did complete, I think it was a 500 series Warhawk, and it did fly, and there's been literally 100 since. I'm gonna do a video soon, and I'm gonna do some building tips. There's been requests for this as well. Either the Spitfire or the Cessna 180, one or the other. You guys can leave comments to which one you would like to see built, but there's a lot of hints and tips on like power sources and hinging your control surfaces. That's one thing I commonly see is people they put full-scale hinges in, and you do not need that. Just a very small sliver of hinge material is plenty on these little models. Let's see. There is a really good forum for these Guillows builds, and that's the RC groups. If you go there, there's the list of Guillows conversions, and literally hundreds of build blogs on building these models. So, but this is it. This is what has come about since 2011. I think it was 2011 I built this this Piper Super Cub, and I didn't do any lightning on it. In the aft fuselage, I used monocoat, and that model still flies. That's a nice flying model. It's fun. We got the Focke-Wulf A8. He's still around. It's a real handful to fly, but I did the Langnays version. I lengthened it out and did a D9, and that really tamed that model down. It really flies good. The old P40 is like 4 ounces. The thing is really heavy, but it's got a lot of power, and it flies pretty well. This is the single cell powered 109. It's not a real maneuverable. It doesn't loop or roll really great, but it does fly good. It flies really good on the single cell power, but I did 2S power on this bird dog, which is way too much. That, for an example, should have been single cell power, but this is how we learn. Superfort was one of the most rewarding models. That is a nice flying model. This has got graphics from Cali. I did it in the Dynamite configuration or version. I've got some Cali graphics for the P40 and a couple of these others, because the original water slides, they just don't last, even if you do use Minwax and stuff like that on them. This is a Deals Engineering F7F Tiger Cat, and these are Cali's graphics, the Bad Kitty, and that really they really look nice on this model. These graphics on the B17 I actually did on my computer, on my printer, and that was the American Beauty. And they turned out okay for doing it on my computer, but this is microlight covering on this too, and it needs to be tightened up. There's a lot of wrinkling going on. I really didn't like the microlight. I like park light. That's what I've used on all of these others except for some monocoat on an old one. This is a laser cut P51, and those are Cali graphics on this P51. That's a nice flying model with retracts. The P38 still flying. That's a heavy model with metal retracts, but it's been fun. That is a nice flying model for what it is. So, you know, there are bases and guidelines to follow in a lot of models, and some guys get maybe really carried away with certain weight limits and power. You know, they get maybe too carried away with it. I'm not that picky. You know, this is my model room. This is where I build things. It is what it is. If it wasn't a mess, I wouldn't know where to find anything. But this does work, and you don't need to be super gifted or super highly skilled to make this stuff happen. Anyhow, you can find these models cheap. They're still available at places like Hobby Lobby, where you can use your 40% off coupon. And I think I walked out of there with a Cessna for like $7. This Spitfire was on sale for $9. So, you know, you can find them. The Superfort, good luck. That was a lucky eBay find. It was $125 delivered. I don't think I'll ever find one that cheap again. But the B17s are out there. That's actually, I've seen a lot of those go in the $40 to $50 range for an open one. The P38 as well. eBay is your friend. So, I won't ramble on too long with this, but here it is. That is what I've done since 2011 for my Guillows, however you want to pronounce it. And this is my collection. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm glad to get up there in subscribers. I'm getting pretty close to that 1,000 mark where I can start taking donations at 1,000 subscribers. And man, if you guys want, donate. I will build. I will help. I will give the tips that you guys need to make these things happen. So please leave comments. Please subscribe. And thanks for watching.